Good evening, everyone. Today is the 12th of April. It's Wednesday evening. I've entitled this video Enemies. Enemies. I believe that the longer we live on this earth, the more enemies we're going to have as Christians. I believe that there's a false lie going around about Catholics being persecuted for their faith right now. I think that that's a camouflage. The people who are going to be actually persecuted are going to be true Christians, not Roman Catholics. But we do have some promises regarding our enemies. You know, all the way through the Bible, the relationship between God and His people and their enemies is talked about quite a bit, 264 times, 9 pages. For lo, thine enemies, O Lord, for lo, thine enemies shall perish, all the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. The Lord gave them rest round about according to all that He swore unto their fathers, and there stood not a man of all their enemies before them. The Lord delivered all their enemies into their hand. Joshua 21:44. All our enemies have opened their mouths against us. Lamentations 3:46. Sometimes the people you think are your friends are really truly your enemies when they start saying bad things about you. You know, they want to say things that malign you or sabotage you. Little, sometimes in very kind of underhanded ways. He must reign till he hath put all enemies under his feet. 1 Corinthians 15:25. Psalm 54:5. He shall reward evil unto mine enemies, cut them off in thy truth. Mine enemies speak evil of me. When shall he die and his name perish? Psalm 41:5. Second Samuel 22:4. I will call on the Lord as worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. Psalm 119:157. Many are my persecutors and mine enemies, yet do I not decline from thy testimonies. Psalm 18:3. I will call upon the Lord who is worthy to be praised, so shall I be saved from mine enemies. When mine enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish at thy presence. Psalm 9:3. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Proverbs 16:7. Thine enemies roar in the midst of thy congregations. They set up their ensigns for signs. Psalm 74:4. Mine enemies would swallow me up, for they be many that fight against me, O thou most high. Psalm 56:2. From the wicked that oppressed me, from my deadly enemies who compassed me about. Psalm 17:9. He hath redeemed us from our enemies, for his mercy endureth forever. Psalm 136:24. Psalm 25:19, consider mine enemies, for they are many, and they hate me with cruel hatred. Have you ever had someone say something derogatory about you? I know I have. Had several people make very derogatory remarks against me. And it hurts, you know. It hurts. But you know what? They said derogatory things about Christ too, didn't they? Psalm 44:7, but thou hast saved us from our enemies and hast put them to shame that hated us. Psalm 71:10, for mine enemies speak against me, and they that lay wait for my soul take counsel together. Psalm 56:9, when I cry unto thee, then shall mine enemies turn back. This I know, for God is for me. Forget not the voice of thine enemies, the tumult of those that rise up against thee increaseth continually. Psalm 74:23. A lot to be said in the Bible about enemies. Psalm 27:12, deliver me not over unto the will of mine enemies, for false witnesses are risen up against me, and such as breathe out cruelty. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Psalm 23:5. Luke 1:74, that he would grant unto us that we would, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear. Psalm 110:2, the Lord shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion, rule thou in the midst of thine enemies. Leviticus 26:7, and ye shall chase your enemies, and they shall fall before you by the sword. Well, you know, I just wanted to bring this up tonight because I believe that we're getting ready to go into times of persecution of the church. I think the communist socialists are pretty much taking over the country, and they absolutely hate true Christians, and they're going to try to make Christians' lives miserable. And they're going to try to attack us in every means possible. But we need to remember that God is on our side. It's not so important that we're on His side, it's important that He's on our side. You know? Micah 5:9, thine hand shall be lifted up upon thine adversaries, and all thy enemies shall be cut off. Now there's going to come a time, according to Revelation, that He's going to make war with the saints and overcome them, Satan. And we better be ready for that time. How are we going to respond when the whole world comes against us and all of our ability to survive is taken away from us? You know, Psalm 35:19, let not them that are mine enemies wrongfully rejoice over me, neither let them wink with the eye that hate me without a cause. But this is just a few of the passages I read tonight from on the enemies. There's another 7 pages. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I think that the tenure of Scripture is clear that God is going to preserve us until the very end, even if we are asked to give our lives, you know. And so when people make derogatory remarks and little jabs at you, just let it go in one ear and out the other, you know what I'm saying? and realize that Satan is working overtime to try to attack us. May the good Lord be with you tonight is my prayer. God bless.